Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Sunday night frequency meditation. I hope we all have had a great week so far. And tomorrow, the next 2 week series begins. And just before we begin, I want to share a small change. So, for now on, the Sunday night frequency meditation, I'm going to hold it on the first Sunday of each month rather than every week. And the reason's simple. It's not that I don't want to do it, but this work isn't about constantly searching for the next download, the next insight, or the next aha moments. Those are temporary shifts for us. And that's awesome. Also, that's often the mind just wanting more. But the real transformation comes from taking these frequencies and technologies into your everyday life, integrating them, embodying them, really allowing them to become who you are. And the meditation, certainly for you, those who have been with me for a couple of years now, really, you've noticed these meditations, these frequency transmissions, they're the most advanced technologies, certainly that I've ever encountered. And they're not meant to be just consumed quickly. And how the whole frequency meditation is transmitted that comes through me. They're designed so that there's an opening, and then is through our practicing they become embodied. So they're designed to be lived. And by creating more space between each meditation, and we're just doing this now, so just take a deep breath in where you are. Because this is a deprogramming as well. By us permitting there more space between each meditation, if you choose, if you do apply it on your daily life, then it gives that opportunity to really deepen the work, fill in the gaps, and strengthen the foundation. Really embodying each step, if you like, before moving to the next. And that's really how lasting transformation happens. And you can just review your own path, if you like. How many events, workshops, modalities, gurus, religions, self-improvement courses, whatever it is, how many have you done? And you're still here right now seeking. So this is as I said, it's a very advanced technology. It's incredibly efficient. The shifts that happen are permanent at a very deep level beyond the mind. So it's time to now give that structure a deprogram also about how more, that spiritual junkie that we can become, all under the disguise that, oh, I'm evolving. No, many times not. It's looping, because it's not deprogramming at the very deepest level of what needs to be shifted to allow that new version to come in. So anyways, and also the 2 weeks frequency meditation series, that's really where the body of work comes together. The Sunday night is to bring, it's like what I do. I introduce, I open up the conversation of whatever we're talking about between you and that higher version of you. I introduce it. But for this real transformation to happen and to be able to witness your own metamorphosis, that's where the 2 week series comes in. It's designed with precision. The technologies there are very precise. That intelligence knows exactly what needs to open up so we can deprogram, we can move into that other version of ourselves with more freedom, more empowerment. So there we are. So anyways, from now on, we'll just see that the first Sunday of every month, we'll be offering it. And we can also go deeper. So tonight, let's just take another breath in. Just notice you in your body right now, where you are. Notice if you're standing or walking or lying down. Just notice how you have come into this moment. And we're here right now. There's nothing to do. So, generally, before our eyes are even open, we can have the whole world arrive in the palm of our hands. Another headline, another crisis, another reason to check again. Always seeking, checking. How safe am I? How safe is my reality? But we don't call it that, do we? We call it staying informed. But it was something older than that. So just watch what the checking is actually doing. It really stopped being about information a long time ago. It's a question your body's been asking for years, long before there was a screen to even ask it through. And really the question is it safe yet to put this down? Is it safe yet to stop caring? Not caring, carrying. And that question didn't start with a phone. It started in a room, in a body that learned somewhere along the way that carrying the world, the burdens of the world, was a piece of being. And it was a price of being allowed to stay in it. And we called it staying informed. We called it caring. We called it being a good person. But underneath all of that, it was the same old habit. Just wearing like a newer cloak. It's taking on more than yours. Taking on the burden of all the different realities around you. Other people's realities that they've created through their programs. And we just fuse into it all. And really what's beneath that, taking on more than yours, is that there's less of you left for anyone to object to. Let's just really bring that home right now. Take a nice deep breath in. Notice your spine, the curvature of your spine, those 33 vertebrae, the spaces between the vertebrae. Just become aware of it. See what comes to you. And again, I'm just going to repeat that. We take on more than our own reality. And what that does, and we do it, so there's less of you left over for anyone to object to. And so tonight's not really about your phone. That's where all your data is. That's where your phone's just the newest place the old habit lives. It's just a vehicle to be exposed to all those other realities, to be exposed to the vast data that the world has to offer. And now we're so efficient, it's in one little place in our hand. But we're not going to go into that. And always is great when I do these meditations live, because even though, I do the promo for it, the little video during the week, but then when I come and sit down and do it, it's deepened. I go to a much deeper level. So we're not going to talk about the phone. We're not going to talk about all the information in the world that comes to us and how to manage that. Other modalities would perhaps teach us how to have boundaries, how to manage other people's realities, information, the burdens. We're going to go much deeper. So tonight we're finding the size, if you like, you were before you started carrying everyone else's weather. So you can see the difference about what this does. So if your eyes are closed, just open your eyes right now and look around it. Look around the reality around you, everything outside your body. And just notice it. We don't need to judge it. We don't need to classify it. We just need to notice that, oh, this is the environment around us. This has been created. I have created this, maybe not consciously, but you have created this physical reality through programs. And then close your eyes and just come back into that inner environment, everything where the skin stops and your inner workings. And come to the center point behind your eyes, that sphere. And just stay here right now. And try not to soften your face on purpose. Just let it hold whatever shape it's been holding. Find your chest. Maybe just notice whether it's open or caved, slightly inward, kind of like it's trying to take up less room in the world. Find your shoulders. Notice if they're rolled forward, curled towards the center of you, maybe guarding something soft behind them. You know, the body's always communicating to us. It's communicating how you're creating yourself in this density. Maybe where there is great alignment, maybe where there's not such great alignment, how we can shift, how we can deprogram certain things so that we are that empowered being that we are. So just notice your throat. Maybe there's a sentence sitting there, held back, checked for size before it's allowed out. Find your stomach. Notice if it's pulled in, not for shape, but so there's less of you to object to. Find your hands. Note if it's maybe one of them's already halfway towards reaching for something to check. You know that way a hand reaches without really asking why it's reaching? And then just find your feet. Notice how much floor they're actually using, how much they're leaving empty around them, as if the empty part belongs to somebody else. And this isn't about relaxation. I'm not bringing you into a point. This is evidence. Evidence how we can have our body. Our body has been making itself smaller for so long it now calls the shrinking personality. It calls it easygoing, low maintenance, chill. It calls the checking staying informed. Those are just kinder names for a very old habit. That habit, as we breathe in, taking on more than yours to carry. So there's less of you left for someone to say no to. That's the key here. That's a nuance that really I don't know anybody that goes to this level. So we take on more than ours, more burden of the world around us. And the consequence of that is there's less of your authentic self. And it's engineered that way. Since there's less of us to be exposed, there's less less of us left for someone to say no to. It's really quite interesting, the patterns that does, that I can see. So let's do this. Just bring to mind something. Bring to mind something smaller than a sentence, maybe a shape. The half of the chair you actually used when the whole chair was yours, for instance. The smaller portion you served yourself before anyone asked you to. Or maybe the way you stood near the edge of a photograph, yet you've had the right to be in the middle of it. Maybe it's that seat you left empty beside you on a train or bus, angled slightly inward, taking up less aisle than you were owed. And none of that was modesty. It was a body that already decided long before you could argue with them, long before it came into this consciousness here, how much of the room it was allowed to occupy. Feel that decision now. Whether it's sitting, not the story behind it, just the shape. The place in you that automatically takes the smaller half, the quieter chair, the narrower breath. And notice now, as we go deeper, as we breathe in, what's been arriving in that smaller space without asking. Not just your own life, other people's. A mood that entered your chest before anyone said a word about it. Maybe there's like a headline that landed in your body like it was your emergency to solve. So somewhere along the way, that space you cleared for yourself started filling up with everything except yourself. But let's notice something else here. This shrinking, it has a sound. It's not loud. But maybe it comes across as a sound of a voice pitched slightly down before it enters a room, or the sound of footsteps that land softer than they need to. Or the sound of a laugh that arrives a half a second early before anyone needed convincing you were fine. Your body's been performing. Well, it's been performing quietness for so long that I've forgotten that quietness was ever a performance at all. It's white noise to you now. It's a blind spot. You can't see it. That's why we're bringing this out to you, this awareness. And just notice how automatic it is. Nobody's asking you to shrink right now. There's no mood to read in this room, no door to guard, no one whose comfort depends on how much space you take up. And yet, still, the old shape's here, waiting to be worn, Kind of like the way a coat holds its shape on the hook even when no one's wearing it. And that's how you know it's not a choice you're making today. It's a shape you're still wearing from somewhere else. Just another deep breath in. And this is packaged beautifully for us. Remember, everything's always packaged, so we sign off on it. But it feels like flexibility. But it's not. It's disappearance, wearing feeling better manners. I just feel that without needing it to fix it yet. The instinct is old, and it moved fast, long before thought arrived to name it. It's not your personality. It's a shape your body learned to make itself into. It's very similar to the way that the water learns the shape of whatever it's poured into, except you were poured into something small a long time ago. You've been holding that shape long, much longer, even after the container was taken away. So we seek empowerment, we seek freedom, we seek peace, fulfillment, completion, awareness of the connection with that fuller version of us. And we're always seeking it, right? We're always doing anything we can. Come on, this is what it's about. I'm a good person. I'm just trying to get better. Yeah, for most of you on this call, you've tried everything with an earnest heart. But you're always seeking. You're always there. And this is these are the programs behind it. It's actually that we've made ourselves so small and filled up that space with other external realities that's not ours. That whatever we try, there's just simply in the container to hold it. So another deep breath in. Just bring one specific memory into view. Not for the story, just for the shape of the room. Maybe when you were brought up there in your house. Go back to a house where somebody's mood was the weather, and you learned to read the sky before anyone spoke a word. Maybe there's a room where your needs arrived after everyone else's, if they even arrived at all. You're in the bottom of the pecking order, if you like. So you learn to travel light through your own life. No big requests, no visible wanting, no inconvenient joy that might need managing. You made yourself easy to carry. So you would never be the reason anyone had to put something down. And this isn't weakness, this isn't a criticism. There's no judgment here. That was a child solving a real problem with the only tool available, taking up less room. So the people who mattered wouldn't have a reason to let go. See how that lands for you. And the child at the time was right to do it. It worked. You're here. But the room changed a long time ago. And the shrinking never got the message. It just kept running quietly in a body that no longer needs it, and no longer lives in that house, a program still executing. Long after the emergency that installed it ended. This is what I see frequently. Oh, it's too much to talk about there. But we've packaged this all up. We've misinterpreted the mechanics on how we create ourselves. And we start introducing this negative narrative, darkness, shadow work. We need healing. We have trauma. It's all packaged. So we go deeper. Take a breath in right now. And we see, well, all of those things that I just stated, it's all about us not being our authentic self, not having the awareness of the connection we have, if you like, with the all. And that container is small, so it can only hold so much. And it holds less of our authentic self, and has brought in more of other people's essence, reality. And we need, when things actually happen in our life, we have these tools, programs, technologies. But what happens to us is that we never know how to disconnect a program once it's been fulfilled. So we keep bringing it into the next version of who we're creating. By the way, we create billions of versions of us per second. That's how much we're shifting continuously. So if you're always shifting continuously, if you're dynamic like we are, like the universe is, there's no destiny, and you keep bringing in the old programs, how authentic are you in real time? And this is what the shrinking actually built all these years. Not safety, distance. You made yourself so easy to be around that people stopped noticing that you were there at all. You made your needs so quiet that even you stopped hearing them clearly. You wanted to be impossible to leave, so without meaning to, you made yourself almost impossible to find, even by the people who would have wanted to find you. If they'd known there was more of you waiting. And that might feel, all those things, like keeping the peace, but it's not. It's a self-erasure. Again, it's just a self-erasure with excellent manners. It's all packaged, presented, so you could sign off on it. Another deep breath in. Let's bring this in for you. Feel where that distance actually lives in the body. It's not abstract. It's the space between your chest and the person sitting across from you, held open by habit, even when nobody put it there. It's that extra half second before you say what you actually think. It's by quietly checking whether the room can hold it or not. It's the reason you feel tired after being fully seen, vulnerable. It's kind of like the same way a muscle is tired after finally being used. And this is a name that's been packaged for us, so we can sign off on it, accept those programs, continue the programs, how we create ourselves here. We've been calling it caring, calling it being a good person. Somewhere along the way, disappearing got dressed up as a virtue. And once a habit wears a virtue's clothes, you stop questioning it, right? You just keep doing it. And that can even be packaged that exhaustion is referred to as humility. So that's why it feels like being good. But it's the body that never learned it was allowed to stop shrinking, stop taking less space. This space is here for you to be filled with that wholer version of you. So what we're doing here, so we're expanding the container again. We're taking ownership of our space. We're realizing we don't have to take on the burden, the cares of everyone around us in order for us to be validated. In fact, by doing that, again, another deep breath in, notice your spine, come back to your sphere, that center point behind the eyes, just bringing you here so you can be aware of what we're doing here. And this is why the checking never really stops on the phone or anywhere else. The constant thought process about the future moment of who you're going to be or what your reality around you is going to represent. It was never about missing something. It was your body still asking the same question it's been asking for years, decades, lifetimes. Is it safe yet to put the world down? Just notice what you've been actually carrying. Not your own life. Everyone else's life, everyone else's weather, their moods. Their moods arriving in your chest before they've even said a word. Talk about giving our power away. Their problems, taken in and held as if they were structural, as if your body was built to store other people's emergencies. This isn't kindness. Kindness has a floor under it. This has been carrying with no floor at all. You're holding the whole room. So the room never has to hold itself. Great thing with these transmissions is you can't keep doing this the same way now that you've seen it. Now that we've brought it to the surface, that awareness has come in. Once you know the quiet was never peace, and being good was never a reason to disappear, the old shrinking stops working the way it used to. you may still feel the pull towards it. That pull isn't going to vanish tonight. It doesn't need to. But you'll feel yourself doing it in the moment it happens. And instead of finding out 3 days later that you did it again, you'll know instantly. And that's why, again, spending this month embodying this transmission, you can listen to it again, apply it, this is how we transform. Not moving on to the next body of knowledge that comes through without actually embodying this knowledge. So taking another deep breath in. Let's now even go deeper, just bringing this awareness. Don't think about your size. Feel it right now. If your eyes are open, close your eyes. Feel the outline of your body. Not the negotiated one, the one you've been quietly rounding down for years. Your actual outline. Shoulders as wide as they really are. The chest as deep as it really goes. Here's a good comparison. The space your body takes up when nobody is being asked to make room for you, and nobody is being asked to allow it. Your body forgot what this size feels like. Not forgot how to want it, but forgot the plain physical sensation of it. And so feel that now. Kind of like the same way you would feel water after being thirsty a long time and not admitting it. So feel that wider across the chest than you've been letting yourself be. Feet taking their full width on the floor, both of them, not just the polite half. The space around you that was always yours, but unclaimed only because you stopped reaching into it. So let's push those boundaries, those walls, that container. So the expression you are of your timeless self here, that whole version of you here, comes into its full density. Feel your hands. Whatever they've been holding that was never actually yours, someone else's mood, someone else's disappointment, stress, challenge, health. That whole unmanageable weather of other people's lives. Let it go. Not thrown, just released. Kind of like the way a hand opens when it finally remembers. It's never built to carry that much. Feel how light the hands become. Feel how much room opens in the chest once it's no longer storing something that was never its size to hold. Breathing in and really let the breath go all the way to the bottom of the lungs, the part that's been left unused. Round it off along with everything else. This space, this exact space inside your own chest, inside your own skin, It's the only space you're ever responsible for. Not the room's mood, not everyone else's weather, just this one. Disconnecting from other timelines, other people's realities, coming into your authentic self. Taking possession of that. Simplifying. Becoming singular. Just stay here. You don't have to explain it to yourself. Just let the shape hold, unnarrative. Kind of like the way a held breath finally releases without needing a reason. It's that other intelligence now. Deprogramming the space you've taken up. Feel the floor under your actual weight. Not the careful, edited weight you've been placing down, but the whole of it, unapologize for it. Feel the air take the full shape of your chest, moving in and out in a space that finally belongs to no one but you. Just notice any sounds around you. Notice where they're coming from. And then notice your two earlobes. The sounds are that external environment. Your earlobes. Your body, you. There's that internal environment. Is there any smells around you? Just notice those smells, and then notice the tip of your nose. Sounds are out there in that environment, and you, your nose, and the environment, the space you're taking up right now. The full space you're taking up. The taste in your mouth. And then notice the throat, the inner throat. Notice what's supporting you right now, what's holding you, what's making contact with your skin. Is it your feet on the floor, your bottom on the sofa, whatever it is? Just notice what's holding you, what's supporting you, and then notice that contact part of the body. And now let's open up our eyes. Just pick an object in front of you in that external environment. Anything. And then just notice you and your spine, your spine and your body. And you may pick the phone up again. And that's all right. That phone with all the information of all the world, with all the data coming into us, way too much information for us to manage. But that's all right. Just pick it up and let it live in your hand for as long as you need it there. Just don't let it live in your body anymore. Don't shrink on the way back to the room. Don't pick up the whole world again in that way either. Let the room meet the actual size of you. Not smaller to be good. Not larger to prove it. Just the size, that authentic size you already are, holding only what was always yours to hold. Tonight's transmission is very deep. The mind is going to try and figure it out because that's what it does at that. Well, it's like really, well, it's at a program level. So it's trying to edit, it's trying to figure it out, it's trying to translate it. But just let it during this month, revisit it, because you'll find that you'll start to be able to interpret what we did tonight as your container becomes its authentic shape. As you hold what is truly yours to hold, you'll start to get that transmission clear about what this is all about. So we need some time here. And as I say, I can open up the conversation between you and your older version of you, but I can't embody it for you. No one can. Nobody can. Anybody who tells you that they have the power for these shifts to be embodied in you, forget about it. Go the other way. That's my experience, my advice. You're the only one that can embody this. You're the powerful one to embody it. So this month, practice. And I might during the month, I'll see how it all flows, but I might during the month do a pop-up on this transmission. Kind of like a, well, like a support. And with that, I hope everybody has a beautiful time, and I'll see you again.